Right, now time for the knowledge is on the horror show. I'm going to call this knowledge is the horror show, right? And this is basically about, because someone gave a comment in there about the Agent Orange and the kids and that who are like, obviously severely disabled and all that, you know what I mean? Like, and I was saying, like, with whatever they present you with and that, right, is not what it appears to be, right, which is the case in that. So if they're saying that these kids and that are victims of like the spray, the Agent Orange spray and that in Vietnam, right, and like that's not the case, right, simple as. So like Orange obviously is your masonry code and that, right, but see, like these kids and that are bound to have come from the T program, right. And what we'll do is see, because they don't always like go well when when they put them in the T program. They don't always go well, turn out well. See, sometimes they turn out like a bit messed up and that. See what I mean? And what they'll do is they had examples of this and the different stuff like the Hiroshima. Another example would be Simon Weston and that, like a more modernish example in that. Like the person's obviously burnt in that. God knows. I mean, we don't know what really happened, like, but it's supposed to be like attributed to the Belgrano sinking or whatever, right? Which is like would be a hoax in that, because if you've seen the news footage of this Belgrano sinking, it was just like a smoke thing in the background, like behind the ship, which I think even people who didn't talk about like the T knowledges sort of had videos about that sort of thing. It's well known as a bit of a hoax, like the Belgrano thing. If it's not, no, it's the Ark Royal or something. I'm getting mixed up, you know what I mean? But it was a British ship anyway, and it was like the smoke was coming from the land behind the ship, and they were saying that the ship had been bombed and all that, right? So that was obviously a hoax. So they tribute like that, right? Now call that like the horror show effect, right? Where they're taking like real examples of like people who are like, in a bad state, and they're basically parading them and showing them to sort of, maximise hoax effect and all that, right? Very effective in that, right? So another thing I'm thinking of here is the Paralympic Games, right? So you've got the Paralympic Games, and I guess para is sort of like to do partially abled and that, right? And again, you're into the coding of like Cain and Abel there, right? With disabled and that, right? And the Paralympics, right? Like for example, no natural peoples don't have their own Olympic Games, right? But Paralympians do, right? So in this T system that we're under, these Paralympians have more value, right? Even though they're sort of disabled in that, right? They have more value in the system than what natural people do, right? So see what I mean? So it's like the sort of like seconds to give it a sort of thing, you know what I mean? The seconds if you're applying like the way what they talk about clothes or whatever, you know what I mean? But they still have more value attached to them than the natural peoples, right? And a good example of that is Tanny Gray Thompson, right? Tanny Gray Thompson. So you know, I mean, you don't need to be genius to work with the code in there, you know what I mean? Yeah, Tanny Gray Thompson, you know what I mean? Just shift the letters around a bit, and there you go. And this one was made of diamond, that, right? So you know what I mean? Straight into the Royal Tea program. And another example of this is Freaks, right? Which is a Todd Browning 1934 movie called Freaks, right? And it was like a notorious film in that, right? And it showed like people, dwarves, midgets, people with like strange conditions and what have you, right? And no doubt, because they're in the celluloid world and that, they're from the T program, right? And the thing about this, the Freaks, right? There's a weird story about one of the kids who was in it, right? Which is like it's like a mainstream story and that, and it is about the kid like there was a couple of people in it had the strange condition, right? I don't know exactly what it is. I'll get the obviously get the proper words up and that. And they called them pinhead. They called them pinheads in that, right? And this one kid in that, he was supposed to be a male, and had him in a dress, right, for this movie, right? So it was like, you know what I mean? We know what that's about, like with these knowledges and that, right? And he was in a dress, but he was supposedly male and that, right? You know what I mean? But playing a female character in this movie and that, right? And you call them pinheads, and they were like these. It's interesting because these same peoples, right? This type of peoples were also used in the sort of the propaganda stuff around the Nazi camps, ideas and all that. These same type peoples were used in that, you know, under the sort of the notion that these were like being put down in that, in these camps and that, right? And then of course it's a bit of like a coincidence, you get the same, maybe he's the same person, I don't know, in like a Hollywood sort of movie, you know what I mean? So we can basically sort of make from that, see what I mean? So I call this like the horror show effect, where they're basically, you know, they're maximising the hooks, what they're putting out by utilising these type of unfortunate people and that, see what I mean? And they're sort of displaying them, you know, on show and all that, right? But of course attaching a fake sort of background story to it and all that, see? Maximise the effects. And yeah, so I just wanted to say that one, like.
If you're a good girl, when I get to Paris, I'm going to buy you a big hat with a long, beautiful feather on it. Oh, hello, Elvira.
Hello, so.
Hello, Jenny Lee. Look, hasn't Stetsy got a beautiful dress? Isn't that pretty? When I get to Paris, I'm going to buy her a big hat with a long feather on it.
And they need to be respected or their day doesn't work.
Porque senão o dia deles não funciona.
Sisters Patricia and Adriana were born 6 years apart with microcephaly, caused by a genetic predisposition in their parents.
Patrícia hoje ela tem 20 anos.
Patricia is now 20 years old, but her intellect is affected.
De mau humor.
Like your usual teenagers, with their dreams, their idols, their bad moods.
Como qualquer
huge monster. It's not death. It can be good. What I dream is for people to treat me like an equal.
Me trata como igual deles.
Besides attending a special